The Morgan Report is sponsored by El Tigre Silver Corps, trading on the TSX Venture Exchange under the symbol ELS.V. El Tigre Silver Corps is a new startup silver company located in the prolific northeastern Sonora state of Mexico. David Morgan is an expert on silver, gold, and precious metals investments. He's a world-renowned lecturer appearing on CNBC and the Fox Business Channel. He's an author, having penned Get the Skinny on silver investing. And Mr. Morgan is a regular contributor and friend of the Ellis Martin Report. David, welcome again to the program. David, welcome back to the program.
Ellis, it's great to be with you.
Do you think we're in the throes of economic Armageddon?
I think we are. I mean, I was thinking about, all the work I've done over the last decade or more. And I remember early on talking about what we spoke about a few weeks ago on your show, the extra pyramid. I was more of a deflationist back then than I am now, although I don't rule it out. And all that has happened over the last several decades, say roughly from the close of the gold window in 71, or maybe perhaps off the silver standard in 1965, from roughly that time frame onward, the financial system has become more and more and more corrupt. And because of that, there's a price to pay. Nature has a way of causing things to take place that correct things. And right now, we're in the midst of having a financial, I'll quote, Armageddon. The problem is that everyone has their own conception of that word and what that means. And most people that I've interviewed seem to feel that it's an instantaneous event and it's a 100% event. So, for example, it happens basically over a weekend. The currency is changed, the banks are closed, the stock exchanges are closed, and your currency becomes worth zero. That's an instantaneous event, and it's a 100% event. That's not very likely. That's probably 0.0001%. What we're in right now is the event, which means that, we lose Bear Stearns, we lose Lehman Brothers, we have higher and higher unemployment. Starting a business is more cumbersome. Government gets more and more involvement, so it's harder and harder to be an entrepreneur. Taxes continue to increase. There's less and less opportunity in the investment realm, and it continues along that line. And that's what we have, and that's an Armageddon. So it isn't necessarily a one-off 100% type of event. It's an event that is kind of the boiling frog, and I think most of our listeners are familiar with that. You put the frog in the boiling water, it'll instantly jump out. That's an instantaneous 100% event. But if you put that frog into cool water, and you turn up the heat and let it rise to a boil, he's cooked and he doesn't even realize it. And that's kind of what we have.
We've spoken about this before, David, but it bears reviewing in the light of your last statement. If and when the dollar becomes worth about as much as any other piece of paper, nothing, will silver in fact be the currency we use to barter in? And again, in that light, what's to keep any town, municipality, or group of people from using silver rounds and printed with their own logo as currency?
Well, it's my best understanding that, yes, you're still free to contract in this country, and you could, barter for goods with silver. The only thing that I'm a little hesitant on is what happened with Bernard von Nothaus and the Liberty dollar. And the way I've read it, since he put a value on it in the dollar sign, I think that's where he got in trouble. Had he left it like most generic silver rounds with just the weight of the coin and no monetary value and no dollar emblem, I think he would have been okay. But coming back on point, yes, you can. And this is what happens at the end of these great financial debacles. You see more and more people going to alternative currencies, and it's not only silver or gold. You have people that have certificates that are printed in their own communities, bartered. There's several of them, and they're very small. Certainly it's an extremely small percentage of the transactions that take place daily, but they do take place. In other words, what happens is people start to determine what money or value is rather than government edict. And it starts very small, but it builds. A good example is goldmoney.com. If you have a gold money account, you can actually transact a lot of different exchanges with gold. And it's all done electronically, but the gold's there, and you are exchanging grams of gold for goods and services. So that's sort of the best method that we have, which has the least cost and the easiest transaction base. So does it take place? Yes. Is it taking place? Yes. Will it continue? Yes. Will it become pervasive throughout the economy? No. I doubt it. Will we ever go back on a silver standard? No. Although I do have to stop here and digress a bit. Hugo Salinas Price in Mexico is still trying very diligently to put through the silver coin initiative in Mexico, which would allow silver coinage to circulate alongside the Mexican peso. And the jury's still out on that. Personally, I'm not sure it'll ever take place, but that issue isn't over yet. I think what you're going to see as the economy deteriorates more and more is you'll see more and more people using silver or some other means to do goods and services transactions, but it, again, won't become something that's common in the marketplace.
So essentially this is something that you're not necessarily encouraging.
Well, I wouldn't encourage nor discourage it. I'm free market. I think, it's an individual choice. For me personally, at times, depending on what it is, I have offered different contractors or people that work with me for different services that I need, if they want to be paid in money or not, and give them a brief education. Some elect to do so and some elect not to. Some people are very uncomfortable doing that. Some are not. Me personally, I have a lot of fun with it. I don't have a preset outcome. In other words, if I'm in a situation where the opportunity is there and I ask if they want money or not, I usually get the whimsical look, and it's like, what? It's like, well, here, and I'll show them a silver round, and well, what's that? And, it goes on, so I don't want to elaborate too much, but you get the idea. In other cases, it would just be foolish to do so. But what I do in those instances, at times, is I tip in silver. There's no law that says that you can't, lay a silver round or two as a tip for a waiter, and it's happened a few times. In a couple of instances, they've come kind of chased me out the door as I'm, walking out and said, wow, this is great. Never had this happen before. So there's little methods. I mean, it's, nothing that anyone else cannot, pick up and do. It does kind of get the message out there in a subtle way. You might think of me as, not Johnny Appleseed, but Johnny Silverseed. I'm playing a little bit of silver here and there as I see fit.
Tell us about your new website, silver123.net.
Well, silver123.net is a Silver Saver program. It's not my invention, but I know some of the principles behind it. And it's an easy way for anybody to set up an account and save in real money silver. What I like about it is there's several options. One, it's not a pool account. There's physical silver behind it. The markup is within the boundaries of normal markups. It may be slightly more, but with the slightly more, you get an advantage if you wish to take it. And that is you can store your silver with them. Now, I'm not real big on storage, as most people know, but throughout all the years I've been in this industry, I've constantly got questions of, I don't want it in my apartment. I have 2 homes. I'm retired. I have an RV. I do this. There's lots of reasons for different individuals not to keep the metal in their house or their apartment or in their RV or whatever. And they, trust me, and they want to know, well, where do I store it? Because I want to, but I don't know who to trust. Well, this is an outfit that you can trust. They personally don't store it. They use one of the best facilities known that I have been out to that state and visited a couple of the depositories. One of them is actually a COMEX approved warehouse, and it's not only stored there, it's also insured. So that takes care of if you want to store it. If you don't, you have it mailed to you like any coin dealer and bullion dealer in the country. You say, I want my silver delivered to my home or my office every month, and they'll do that. So it's kind of neat. Personally, what I'm doing is I'm letting them store it for about 6 months at a time, and then I'm taking the bullion, sending it down to one of the mints that I have a strong relationship with, and turning it into silver rounds. But that's me personally. But there's lots of options like that. So I really like the program. If you want to learn more about it, you can go to silver123.net. Check it out for yourself. As it's matured, we have put more and more FAQs, frequently asked questions, because people keep thinking of really great questions, and we want to, make everyone comfortable that elects to get in it. The other thing is, if you were in it for, a month, 2 months, 6 months, 2 years, whatever, certainly can opt out of it. I mean, it is, totally your call. But what I like about it is that dollar cost average instills discipline, and you're saving in real money.
David Morgan of silver123.net and silver-investor.com. Thank you so much for joining us again today on the Ellis Martin Report.
Ellis, my pleasure. Thank you.
The Morgan Report has been sponsored by El Tigre Silver Corps, trading on the TSX Venture Exchange under the symbol ELS.V. El Tigre Silver Corps is a new startup silver company located in the prolific northeastern Sonora state of Mexico.